Australia shot into the stars. Messi train was delayed but still arrived to the final destination. And Colombia was high. I hope not on drugs. Let's talk about what we've seen today and tonight in this 2026 FIFA World Cup. We have three matches to cover and rock and roll. First game, Australia Egypt. What can I say about this game? It wasn't most attractive game or the best game to watch, but it was just decent enough. Okay, so slightly boring, but it's okay. Now, interesting things about this game. This guy, Mohamed Hani, he basically got kicked, I think, in the head, and then they were worried about him. Or he wasn't kicked, but he was hit in the head, and they were worried about this guy, and they did not know if he could continue. Well, he continued, and then he scored own goal a little bit later. Well, so I don't know. Maybe it was worse to pull him out. Well, it's up to coach at this point. So you see in this chart, it's exactly what I've seen in this game. Australia seems to be pretty active during this game, with Egypt just taking in some moments of possession. But after, like, towards the end of the game, it was all Egypt basically. They were just keep going and going and going into the Australian zone. Now, so generally speaking, as I said, it wasn't very fun game to watch, not at all. And as you see, one goalkeeper made three saves, another one made one save, uh, and outside that, the Egyptian player basically was kicked in the head, or again hit in the head, and then score on goal. That was another interesting moment. Was about this the actual Egyptian goal. So what happened there? It's if you notice, it there was a free kick, and the same guy who kicked the free kick then rebounded on the second attempt after the free kick. So basically, he 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 scored the header after pass came from the other side after free kick was uh, defended. So it's basically on the same play, same player who kicked the free kick from the left. So it was interesting how he was able to, not just kick and watch whatever. He rejoined the play and he got to score the goal. So it was good moment in the match. And then came penalty shootout, and I was surprised how professionally Egyptians just finished off the Australians. Australians, the reason why I say they were shooting for the stars, you see the stars on their flag, and they were just shooting up in the air too high and missed couple shots, and that was their end. Honestly, I thought any team could win in this game. Uh, this time Egypt won, so we'll see how they're gonna do further in the tournament. Now let's move on to the Argentina and Cabo Verde. This is very interesting. So first half was fairly boring, right? With Messi scored, and now that actually opened the play a little bit because now Cabo Verde had to go forward. And I was afraid that they won't go. I was afraid that they will continue playing this deep defensive play game and try to catch Argentina on a counter attack, which is not happen often. But you know what? Despite it's looking like this, like Argentina had most of the possession, yes, they had, but Cabo Verde, when they went forward, they 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 were meaning it. Like they really played really good. Um, I don't know how would you feel if, let's say, in this match, at times, especially late in the match, I was feeling like, how would I feel if Argentina loses this game? Let's say Cabo Verde ties the game, and then they go into penalty shootout, and Argentina loses there. And I was thinking, like, of course, okay, Argentina is a big name; it's a world champion, and having them in the next round, of course, increases interest. On another side, we are always fans of small teams, like, right? We like the underdog winning very often, right? And this was kind of like 50-50, strange feeling, right? Strange feeling. I don't know who I want to win, an underdog or a world champion, which was this big name, was a big player, okay, which is beating records every next game, right? So today it's, I think, his eighth game in the World Cup straight that he is scoring, right? And the goal he scored was beautiful. That the way he just controlled that ball to just shoot. Well, interesting. Cabo Verde is kind of like a little Portugal, right? So look at their players. All their players have this interesting names, right? So let's see here, right? Okay, Arcanio, Rosa, Stapira. Oh, is this bench actually? Yeah, this is bench. All right, but you get the point. Pina, Dos Santos, Pires, Rodriguez, Costa. Yeah, so I guess it was Portuguese colony, but interesting. I was not thinking much about Cabo Verde before the tournament, but I must say that uh, I get to respect. I start to not just respect them, but also I think I understand that they are not such a bad team after all. They had three draws, okay, just like Iran, but they made it two, right? And so they finishing tournament with three draws and actually one loss, right? But they showed, how would I say, they showed, very mature approach to the game. And I think they maybe kind of like, they probably thought less of themselves than they were actually, okay? I think if they could just play against other team with more menacing approach, they might have just won at least a game or even two. Even today, I always felt that at first I thought like this: is Argentina gonna be like just another Spain, which will just run around, run about, and not score? And then in the second half, of course, Argentina scored. And in the second half, this game turned on its head, basically. It became a game I like to watch. So Argentina continued going forward, and Cabo Verde scored, and then it went in overtime, and we had more goals. It, I mean, it was it was very nice to watch, and the feeling was there that Cabo Verde might actually somehow win this game, you know. And I've seen that even Argentinian players were worried. And now I have to say that next game for Argentina will be tough. They're gonna be tired, uh, and I don't even know. Of course, I cannot say that this was a positive game for Argentina. It was a game where they have done their job. Yes, and they even dominated this game. They made, they made goalkeeper from Cabo Verde, which, by the way, I really like this guy, makes 8 saves, right? And generally, Argentina was like a better team, right? Or I wouldn't even say like better team. I would say team that was possessing ball more and was creating more. It was creating more because they were possessing more of the ball. But it's just like somehow Cabo Verde, every time they would go down a goal, they would go back and score. Just like this. Just go back and score. And at that moment I had a feeling, what if the next time Argentina goes forward and not score, it doesn't score, and then Cabo Verde goes forward and scores, and then Argentina is out. So I was completely confused how to feel about this. That was extremely interesting feeling today that I have, like feeling about this game. But so generally, the second half and the overtime saved this game for all of us and was finally enjoyable. Now let's talk about Colombia. Guys, Colombia, every time I talk about Colombia, I repeat that I always said that Colombia is the most fun team in South America because they are, because this team is running forward. What's interesting about this game that by the 10th minute, both teams lost one player to an injury. That's happened, before 10 minutes in the game. Very interesting how this happens. Things happen in pairs. Then Colombia scored a goal. Now, this goal was like children's goal for Ghana. Defenders completely let play go. They were watching it. I was looking this time after time in replay, and I look at these defenders and I say like, wait a minute, how do they leave this guy so alone? Like there was a guy in defense, I think number three at the time, who just didn't run. He was looking at the ball. Every player in uh, in the box from Colombia was covered, besides that one, and he wasn't covered because this number three was watching at the ball. I don't know what he was trying to find. He did not even turn his head to his left so he could see an attacker sitting there free. And then a couple more dangerous situations came from exactly the same corner. So I think that was a weak corner for Ghana, and Colombia just abused that place. And if people ask me, why do you think Ghana lost? They seem to be play okay. Yeah, guys, they play okay. Look, they put exactly 0 shots on goal. Colombian goalkeeper made exactly 0 saves. This is what is crazy about this game. So Colombians, we can say, completely outplayed Ghana. And now let me tell you one thing. This is what important, and this is what I really like about this Colombia team. When it was completely injury time, and it was, I guess, total would be like 96 minutes of play and last 3 minutes. That's usually the time when a losing team is supposed to have the ball and go forward. During this time, instead of Ghana going forward, Colombia was going forward all the time. I even told this person I was watching this, look, I said, Ghana's supposed to have the ball right now. Instead, Colombia had, and that one or two times that Ghana took possession, they quickly lost it. And this is another point of this game I want to say about this game. Ghanaian players, they could not make or they could make, but they often have made extremely wrong choices of what to do with the ball. They either did not release ball like early pass to just get rid of pressure. They either pass to some wrong place. Let's say instead of passing to the left or right wing, they would pass through the middle, where Colombians easily took ball away, or they would try to dribble, or not even dribble, but just kind of like dribble, but end up without like open pass, right, to give out the ball. And then they would run into situations where they have to now protect the ball from the Colombian attacker who was very close, and they would lose this ball. That's what's happening all the time. So basically, almost like too many unforced errors, just too many unforced errors, and in the end, Ghana could not do really anything about, you know, about this, uh, you know, about dueling with Colombia. They could not, they could not do much, you know. They haven't done much. Yeah, it's. I was kind of like disappointed the way Ghana played. Uh, the game was kind of interesting, especially like again in the second half. Let's see. Yeah, you see, things were a little bit more active for Colombia in the second half, and you see this end stretch. That's what I was just talking about. This is where Ghana was supposed to be going forward, but Colombia went forward instead. Yeah, well, zero shots on goal. How are you gonna win games if you have zero shots on goal? So let's check what we have in our standings or pairings. All right, so Paraguay, France. When this was Paraguay, Germany, I already said that Paraguay will lose. Well, now I have to say this again. Uh, France is just too much. And I must say that one of the reasons to, you know, believe that France will win this one is because Paraguay had to play extra time after all. And of course, France seems to be like just having such a good time. And as I pointed again in some other video, France's opponents, they don't know who to hold, right? Are you gonna call Mbappe, Alice, Dembele, or Barcala, right? You're gonna hold all these four guys. This is impossible. So, uh, you know, until France plays against Morocco, I will like not even think hard who will win. Well, in this game, I mean, I don't know what needs to happen to Morocco for them to lose to Canada. So forget it. Okay, you know what I mean. All right, let's look at Portugal, Spain. Well. Portugal is kind of slightly disappointing at this point, although they put, I mean, decent effort against Croatia, but Croatia seems to be a little better than Portugal. Spain is also coming out from this kind of like situation when they started to play better, but they thoroughly defeated Austria. So should be a good game, and anyone can win here. I think that Spain maybe has a little bit edge here because Portugal simply wasn't consistent and Spain wasn't consistent. But but Spain has better, how to say this, cohesiveness, right, in their team. They they just know how to hold the ball better, right? Portugal is more of a kind of, I mean, Portugal tried to play this, I say like ball control game, but they are not very good at it. Portugal should be playing more on counter attack. So that will be their, I guess, opportunity to do that. Let's see. USA, Belgium. Well, Belgium has been disappointing so far, but if they're gonna play the way they played last, let's say, like 40 minutes of the previous game, then USA probably has no chance. Plus, USA will not have their good goal scorer, uh, Balagan, due to red card. Uh, Again, everybody say that hey, USA is bad. USA did not have actually good game against Bosnia Herzegovina. They were kind of like on the boring side, and you know, but only because Bosnia was even worse. USA won, right? Uh, and Belgium wasn't really good until end of the last match. So maybe this is time for both teams to improve. And but if Belgium will improve to their true level, I don't see how USA will just defeat them. Especially USA will probably have this hanging memory over them that we just lost to Belgium. What was like 5-2 just recently. So there it is. Now, guys, this is where fun begins. Brazil, Norway. Everyone like Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Guys, Brazil playing such game right now that maybe I think Norway will just take him out. You know, I think Norway has really good chance because this is not the Brazil we know, right? I always like to go back to things I said before. Brazil, right, used to be like having Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Robinho, who else? Rivaldo, Roberto Carlos. So basically, the team was full of the superstars, as they call them, Galacticos. But here we don't really have much of that, right? Oh, Kaká, I should remember Kaká still, right? Here we don't have much of any of this, right? And the way they playing now, Norway, I think, has a chance, right? So, uh, would I bet on Norway? I would, because I probably will win more money if I bet on Brazil. Now let's talk about Mexico, England. This is interesting. Mexico getting better and better. England, well, England was okay, was pretty good, but they were good against who? Against Congo Democratic Republic. Okay, so we'll see. I think it's fairly even match right now because Mexico just have been improving game to game, while England was steady, was pretty good. All right, Argentina, Egypt. You know, both teams went into overtime, so we're not gonna give anyone advantage here. I think with everything else equal, considering how Egypt played against Australia, I think Argentina has edge right here and a big one. And Switzerland, Colombia. Honestly, the way I envision this, I think Colombia, the way they playing, they're just gonna put end to this Switzerland team, right? A team which started tournament badly, then play couple better games, but nothing really exciting, right? Nothing exciting. And Colombia has been pretty exciting, but exciting teams not only win games, but here I think Colombia can just outrun Switzerland. Just the way I see the just physical conditions and running goes, Colombia may just outrun Switzerland. So uh, I put on Colombia here, right? I put on Colombia here. And if you go back to Mexico, England, if I have to put my money on anyone here, I'll put on Mexico. Sorry, I would bet that England will win this match. Uh, I know Mexico went into the fifth game in the tournament. For the longest time, they could not do it, but England just seems to be more like solid teams in every position than Mexico. Unless Mexico just breaks England using their attack, I don't think Mexico will be able to defend as well, right? So we will see. We all saw what England did uh, to Congo. We all saw this. England just ran havoc in Congo box, and I'm afraid that England can do the same with Mexico, unless Mexico will put them into this running game and try to beat them just by outrunning them. We'll see. All right. So this is what my video is for today, and see you tomorrow.